Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell by the title, in this video I'm just going to be talking about my dating experiences. Obviously they all haven't ended well because I am currently single. So this video is going to be another one of my casual sort of just sit down, let's chat, talk through type videos. And I just want to start off by saying I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I am not looking for attention. I am not looking for people's pity. I just feel like this topic is one that I'm very sensitive about and it just gets to me a lot, so that's why I kind of just wanted to sit down, and I feel like if I talk it through to you guys watching, then it's just going to get a lot of it out of my system. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. In my other videos I put up, I try and be happy and positive, and this video, is not going to be one of those probably, so I'm really sorry about that, and if you don't want to watch it then that is fine, you can click off. So I really hope that none of the guys that I have dated are watching this video, but if you are for some reason watching this, then I'm not trying to offend you, I'm not trying to bully you, just try and get it out of my system so that I can actually properly move on. Oh my gosh, I do not want to cry. So obviously for privacy reasons I am not going to include their names in this video. So the first guy that I ever dated was in year 9, which is very young, I will admit. We went to the same school together, and I had liked him since I was year 5. I had liked him for a good while. He'd always liked so many girls growing up, and I knew that, full fact, but I still really liked him for some reason. And then in year 9 he asked me out, and it didn't last very long, it only lasted about 3 months. We went out to the movies once, and because I went to a very small school, when someone went out with someone it was a big deal and everyone wanted to know every little single thing that was happening. So I guess that relationship never really felt like a real relationship, probably because of the fact that I was only 13. Then we broke up after 3 months. He broke it off, and looking back now I'm definitely glad that it happened. Going into year 10 I still liked him. So he was going through a lot of stuff in year 10 and I got caught up in the mix of it. He majorly hurt me, and while he was sort of taking advantage of me by the fact that he knew that I liked him, he actually liked another girl that I was friends with, that he kind of had a thing with her going at the time as well. It just wasn't really the best situation. So I didn't talk to him from year 11 up until maybe halfway through year 13, and he was at this church conference thing that I was at, and I just noticed that he looked really down. So I messaged him that night and just asked him if he was alright, and he sort of just let everything spill out on what was happening, and he did apologise for everything that he'd put me through, and he said that even though it may not have seemed like it, it really got to him as well. And I told myself that I would never fully forgive him until he apologised, and he did. So I'm very thankful that he did that, and now we're not exactly friends, but we're not exactly enemies. I just sort of say that we're acquaintances. So the second guy that I dated in year 12? So I was 16 at the time. So I met him through another guy friend of mine, and everything started off alright. Obviously I was still really scared. I was quite hesitant of guys. I was hanging out with him, and there was my other guy friend, there was another one of my good friends, and a girl that I'm not friends with anymore but used to be really close with. He messaged me on Instagram and we just started talking like that. We met up again, and I guess I had never really felt like I could talk to someone about every single topic, because with the first guy that I dated I never really felt like I could talk to him, ask him anything without having to second guess myself. Things progressed from there and we met up more. The school was around the corner from mine, so he would skateboard to my school every day after school, and then he'd bring me like hot chocolates when it was cold. He let me borrow his jumper. So him and I had talked about the possibility of us going out, and obviously I really wanted to because I liked him, and he obviously really wanted to go out with me because he liked me. Then he said that he felt like I was holding something back from him, so then I told him everything that I had been through, and then that kind of cleared it up for him. So then we ended up going out, and we went out for 11 months, and the first few months it was great. He acted like the perfect boyfriend. Like, I literally felt like I couldn't have got better. The more he felt like he had me, the more he started getting bossier. He became, I don't want to say possessive, but he's just one of those guys that always had to be right. I started to question whether he actually still liked me or not, because he just didn't seem like he cared as much as he did when he was trying to win me over, I guess. And he took up a lot of my time. So like every day when I would get home from school, he would pretty much ring me as soon as I got on the door. I would be on the phone to him up until dinner, and we would be on the phone the entire night, and it would be like that every single day. And then on the weekends I never ended up like doing anything else apart from talking to him, which was really starting to get to me because I felt like I didn't have a lot of space. And when I tried to get some space, he would get really annoyed. I always felt bad whenever I asked. There was a lot of stuff we didn't agree on, which I feel like was because I was at a different stage in life to him, and a lot of the time he was unhappy. He was crying a lot of the time. I never really felt like he was happy that he had me, I guess. A lot of things seemed like my fault. We never really went on an actual date, like just be him coming over to mine or me going to his. He never really wanted to be seen in town with me, and keep in mind he's a year older than me as well. So the first guy that I dated, he was younger than me by a few months, and this second guy was a year older than me. He took pictures with me, and then I went to his birthday party, and my sister and I both got invited, and he had told people in his school he had a girlfriend, but he didn't say who it was. And so people at the party were trying to guess who it was, and he said that half of the people there thought that it was me and half of the people there thought it was my sister, and he never corrected them. And I asked him about it. I'm just like, did you tell people? He's like, oh no, I just let them think what they want to think, which didn't really seem like he wanted people to know that him and I were going out, I guess, which really hurt me as well, because I thought, great, so people think my sister is going out with my boyfriend. So I started getting really upset, and a lot of the time when I was on the phone to him, I was really upset. I was upset at school. I just was upset more than I had ever been, I think. Yeah, I was angry a lot more. A lot of the time he felt like I was taking him for granted, so he'd back off a little bit when I wasn't. And yeah, it just got to the point where we were arguing more than we were smiling, I guess. And then it just came to the point where we had a physical connection, because obviously we found each other attractive, but I guess we never really felt like we had an emotional connection, I guess. I didn't want to come to him about my problems, because whenever I did, he would always say that I was complaining. Whenever something exciting happened for me, he would just be like, oh, good for you. So then it was coming around to Christmas. We both just weren't really happy together at all, and he had said to me that we would try and give it a week to fix things up, but if by the end of the week things hadn't changed, that he was going to break up with me, which I thought, this is so stupid, like, because things hadn't been right for about 6 months, so I was like, there is no way it's going to change in a week. So I thought, I can't really do this anymore, it hurts too much. And so then a few days before Christmas I finally broke it off, and I just felt like a huge weight had just been lifted off my shoulders. I was still a little bit upset because I still liked him, and I think the reason that I liked him was because I was solely focused on the fact that I had liked the guy that he was at the beginning when we started going out. See, I'd never broken up with anyone before, I didn't really know how to feel, and because he'd been in my life for almost a year at that point, it was quite strange to not go out with him, I guess. We still agreed to be friends because before we were going out, that's when everything was sort of okay and he seemed like the guy that he used to be. So I thought, okay, yeah, it's gonna go back. The more that time passed on, the more we started talking again, and then we pretty much just went back to the state that we were in when we were going out, except we weren't. It was just very all over the place. So I kind of felt like he was keeping me on the side. At one point he said, oh, we still can like each other, but we can still look for other people, which kind of made no sense to me, because I thought, if you really wanted me, then why are you so okay with looking for someone else? It was just a mess. So then that happened all throughout year 13 and the beginning of this year. And then I went to my friend's birthday party halfway through last year, and the first guy that I went out with was there, and that was kind of at the time that I messaged him if he was okay. And I told the second guy that I was dating that I was talking to him, and he got really annoyed at me. But the second guy that I had been out with told me that he didn't like me anymore, and this was in year 13, and he told me that he liked another girl at one of my classes at school who literally everyone says is perfect. So that got to me. So then I actually started liking the first guy that I went out with again, because he seemed like a completely different person to the guy that he was when I went out with him. So then obviously the second guy that I went out with didn't like that. He was calling me a lot of things that I wasn't, and saying that he wanted nothing to do with me. Then things didn't really work between the first guy and I. So then I unblocked the second guy that I went out with and started talking to him again. And then, yeah, I pretty much just went back to the same state that we were when we were going out, except we weren't. And the longer it went on, the more it was starting to destroy me again. The second guy that I went out with told me that, like, he pretty much just broke up with me again, but said that he still had feelings for me. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, because like when he broke up with me, obviously I was crying on the phone, because he did it on the phone. I was crying. He was saying, oh, is there anything I can do? Like, I'm sorry, I really didn't want to do it. It's the hardest decision I've had to do. I didn't want to do it at all, but I had to. I had no choice. All this shit. Like, he was really worried about this year because he is not in the same place that I live anymore. And I think he was just really worried about how it was going to work. But he also said that he didn't want to be tied down. I ended up meeting the third guy that I went out with, but I'm gonna go more into the story of me and him in a minute. Yeah, started liking him, and I told the second guy that I went out with that I didn't like him anymore like that, and that I just wanted to be friends. And he was asking, oh, why? When I started liking the other guy, he said, oh, I never actually lost feelings for you and all this, I just did it because of this and this and this. And it's like, I just can't deal with this on off, like saying one thing but meaning another, and then ended up lying about the first thing that you said, and it was just so confusing to try and figure out. So I thought, no, I don't want to do this. So then I sort of just started talking to him less, because obviously I liked the other guy. And update now, so it got to the point where I blocked him on everything. I don't talk to him at all, we're not friends, and I don't like him, and I just feel like him and I are in different stages of life, and we're just not meant to have each other in our lives as a friend or as a couple. And then the third guy, I don't really count this as like a relationship, because we only ever went on one date. It's the most recent. This guy I met at the beginning of this year, and he was only really in my life for a few weeks. But I met him when my best friend and my other friend and I went to the movies, and he was working there. And then we were having dinner at the movies afterwards, and he was actually our waiter, so he was like serving us. And when we came out of the movies, He was right there. He told us which table to go to because none of us had ever eaten at the movies before, so we didn't really know what to expect. He was kind of asking us like questions, and my best friend and my other friend just gave like real short answers, but I was sort of like talking to him a little bit, and I thought that he was just really nice. Didn't really think too much of it. Yeah, I just thought that he was doing his job really well. And then when we were due to leave, his friend left first, and obviously we came out the movies quite late, and he was just like around just like sweeping the floor. So he was talking to us while he was doing that. Family is the type of family to tip people if they have really, really good service when it comes to food. I just feel like it's kind of a nice thing to do, and so I thought the service was good, so I gave the guy that I ended up going out with some money because I thought, yep, he deserves it, he worked hard. And yeah, he was really surprised, obviously, because not many people in New Zealand do that because it's not normal. I didn't really think too much of it. My friends didn't really say anything about it, so like it wasn't like a, oh, he likes you kind of thing. I posted a picture on Instagram that night saying like, oh, great night with my girls, and did a little shout out to the guy that I ended up going out with, saying about like, oh, thanks for your good service. And then his workmate actually tagged him in the photo. So then he followed me, I followed him, and then he just messaged me just out of the blue just saying, hey, thanks for the tip, it was really, really appreciated, and all that kind of stuff. So I messaged him back saying like, oh yeah, it was no worries, you know, you earned it. And I was like thinking, okay, yeah, he's just being really, really nice. He started asking me about my job, because obviously he could see like through my Instagram about like that I work and that I have a YouTube channel. So he asked about that, and then he just started asking me a whole bunch of questions, and then he ended up asking me for my number, so we ended up texting for ages. And yeah, he ended up asking me out, and originally I had said, oh, can we just go as friends, because after experiencing the stuff that I experienced, and I was like, I really can't be bothered with a relationship at all. And he was okay with that. He's like, yeah, that's fine, that's all good. Like, then I was like, okay, cool. And then the more I started talking to him, the more I started liking him, and I told my friend about him, and my friend said that she knew him and that I should totally go for it. So then I went to my friend's party, a different friend, at the beginning of this year. The second guy that I went out with was there because he's friends with one of my friends, so that was obviously really awkward. I feel like he got jealous because he would always ask me, oh, you texting him, oh, you doing this, you doing that. And it was kind of like the behind his eyes, you could see the jealousy. It was kind of my best friend and I that were the only two people there that weren't drinking. I mean, we had one, not really into getting drunk and all that kind of stuff because it's not really us. So I just felt really out of place, I wasn't feeling it. And the second guy that I went out with was being real cozy with this girl that was taken. Okay, so you tell me that that's nothing. So how many times did you tell me, oh, nothing happened, but something did, and you just want to hide it because I wasn't there? So that kind of mindset really, really got to me, and I just ended up just crying. So then I was texting the third guy that I went out with, and he had finished his shift at the movies, and I think it was like 12:30 or something when I messaged him, and I said, oh, are you by any chance still in the area that you work, because he doesn't actually live in the area that he works, and he said that he wasn't, but he wanted me to get picked up, and I feel like I just needed to clear my head, and I felt like I couldn't really breathe. At the party I felt quite anxious, I felt quite sick. So I just wanted to get out of there, so I said, yeah, can you come pick me up, I'm not feeling good here. Like I told him that I'd been crying. Yeah, he asked what the address was, and then he just came over. My best friend wouldn't let me go by myself with him because we'd only ever met him once when he was on his job. So she ended up coming along, which in the long run now I'm glad that she was there. We drove around town, the city. We were just playing Spotify, so we were just jamming out. He let me have the password to his phone, and said that I could play anything I liked, so I was in charge of the music. We were singing along, both him and I, and it was just a really, really good time. Ended up buying me Macca's, which I thought was really nice because I actually had my purse on me and I felt really bad. My best friend didn't want anything and she was pretty much just trying to sleep because obviously it was like real late. Drove around till about 3:30. So yeah, and it was just a really good night. So that kind of sold it for me and I was like, okay, I actually do really want to go out with him. So then I like told him in the car, I was like, oh, can we go as like a date instead of going as friends? And he was like, oh yes, like, so then yeah, we ended up going out. He came over to pick me up. He met my parents, met my family because they wouldn't let me go in a car with him without him knowing who he is basically. And this guy as well, because he's 2 years older than me, they're kind of a bit like, oh okay, yeah, we kind of just want to meet him first. So that happened. He was really cool about it. I went to dinner at a really nice restaurant. It went really well. We were talking a lot. Obviously in the car ride over and back we were jamming out to music, doing pretty much the exact same thing, so he let me be in control of the stereo. So yeah, we ended up going to the movies. Then after the movies we ended up walking to the pier and we were just watching the ocean for a little bit. And then we ended up driving up a hill and we just looked at the lights of the city. And then yeah, we were just talking up there and I just thought it was perfect. I thought this couldn't be better. And then yeah, he dropped me home. I thought it went really well. And then at about 12:30 I got a text from him saying along the lines of that something had happened to one of his family members and that he didn't want to deal with that and start the beginning of a relationship because it was too much, and just asked if we could be friends for now. So I thought, oh yeah, like he hasn't given me a reason to not trust him. So I thought, okay, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and trust him with this. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, I completely understand that. The next day, because we were talking pretty much every single day, but not as much as I was talking with the second guy that I went out with. About a week passed and I didn't hear anything from him. And I thought, oh, maybe he just needs some space, because like I thought, oh, if it's death or if it's cancer, yeah, he's going to want some space. And you know, he might want to spend some time with his family. So I thought, okay, fair enough. So then I ended up buying some chocolate and going to his work and just seeing how he was. He was all cool about it. He was like, oh, you know, thanks for that, I really appreciate it. You know, he said, oh, it's not death, but it's still pretty serious. So I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, oh, I just thought I'd get you something nice, surprise you, try and cheer you up a little bit. And then I had asked him if he wanted to hang out this, like the weekend coming up, but he said that he couldn't because he was working a double shift, but he suggested the weekend after. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Another week passed and I didn't hear anything from him. So then I went to his work again to see how he was doing, if he was okay. And then I walked in there and he was like, oh hey, like how you going, all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, oh, you know, how are things with you? And then he said, oh, I'm a lot better, and he seemed a lot happier. So I was like, okay, thank goodness. So yeah, seeing as he had suggested hanging out what would have been that weekend, I said, oh, I've got some ideas. And he said, awesome, that sounds really cool, I'll text you. So I was like, yes, awesome, cool. And then it got round to the day that we were hanging out and I hadn't heard anything from him. And I texted him saying, oh hey, we're still hanging out. Because I thought, oh, maybe he's just forgotten with everything that's been going on. But I never got a response back. And I never really knew why. I guess he just sort of went really quiet. Yeah, I was so confused because maybe there was something that we talked about that wasn't right, I don't know. My best friend and I recently went to the movies and unfortunately he was working, but it was the only time we could go, so we went there and he pretty much acted like he didn't even know who we were. I still am so confused and so lost, and I would have thought because he was 2 years older than me that he would surely have the decency to tell a girl if he didn't like her anymore, or like that it just wasn't going to work or something. I still really like him, and I think it's just I won't really stop until A, I either meet someone else, or B, I know exactly what happened, because I just feel like it's so unfair just after everything that I've been through. Like, to have someone go out of their way for me I mean, even letting me have like their phone password and letting me on their phone on like the second time I've met them. I would like to know why, but I don't think I ever will. So I guess that's kind of why it's been on my mind, because I feel like with the first two guys the books are fully closed, but with him it's kind of like it's still open because I don't know how it ends, or like, well, I know how it ends but I don't know why. So yeah, that is my dating experiences, which I know they're not pretty. This video probably has been quite a long one, but I really needed to get it off my chest and to talk about it. And like I just start questioning like, oh, is it me? Is it something that I'm doing? No, this is a different side to me than you guys are used to seeing. It makes me upset a lot of the time, as you guys will probably now know. I just feel really hurt. But I guess I'm one of those people that tries to keep it in, and I try and distract myself a lot of the time. Those quiet moments when I'm by myself that it just really gets to me and I just break down. I do feel very drained right now, and I guess that's another reason why I was able to let go of the second guy so easily, because the third guy showed me that I thought that he showed me that there were better guys out there, but then that kind of failed. So that's me. That's something I've been through that's taken a toll on me for the last now 6 years. It's kind of just put me off guys altogether, put me off dating, it's put me off relationships. So if you guys are still here and you like these sort of like chatty sit down videos, then please give it a thumbs up. This one definitely isn't the most positive. How life goes sometimes. You have your good times and you have your bad times. Subscribe if you're not already. Don't worry, not all of my videos are like this. Most of them are very upbeat and positive. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next video where it will hopefully be more positive.